Welcome back to Europa League Live here on ESPN, and the focus is firmly on the Philips Stadium in Holland, where PSV Eindhoven are about to play Rangers. Ready to guide us through the game, Craig Burley and Derek Ray.
Thank you very much, Ray. Good evening, everyone. History stands on Rangers' side. Two previous visits to Eindhoven, two victories recorded. 1978 under John Gregg, 1999 under Dick Advocaat. PSV have in fact lost all three of their home meetings with Scottish teams. Played two against Rangers and one against Dundee United. That was in the UEFA Cup 29 years ago. Walter Smith was a member of the United coaching staff that night. We're not quite at capacity on this Thursday. Around 29,000-30,000 in attendance. Rangers' European travels this season have taken them from Manchester to Valencia, from Turkey to Portugal, and now to this rather sleepy part of the Netherlands. Except when PSV are at home. They are an intrinsic part of the local community, and the pressure to land silverware is intense. Approaching 3 years now since last PSV lifted a trophy. A muffled UEFA Europa League anthem. Applause from the PSV players nonetheless. It's not lost on Rangers that they'll likely have to improve upon their performances against Sporting in the last round if the Dutch league leaders are to be eliminated. PSV welcome back Swedish international Ola Toivonen, currently serving a 4-match domestic ban after elbowing Jan Vertonghen in the recent meeting with Ajax. He comes in for Otman Bakal. Otherwise, it's the same team that beat Excelsior 3-2 in a Rotterdam thriller at the weekend. Balázs Dujak is the star man. The Hungarian, a real artist, has scored 21 goals for PSV in all competitions this season. PSV have been preaching patience in the build-up to this match. Now then, the referee is the man who will forever be remembered for not spotting Thierry Henry's handball in the France Republic of Ireland World Cup playoff match. Martin Hansen from Sweden. David Weir, just a couple of months short of his 41st birthday. Orlando Engelar is the captain of PSV. For Rangers, the big story is the omission of Alan McGregor and the inclusion of Neil Alexander on his 33rd birthday. That's to give him match practice ahead of the Scottish League Cup final on Sunday week. Alexander makes his first appearance in Europe since the 2008 UEFA Cup final. Kyle Hutton and Kyle Lafferty, who's fit again, both start. Majid Bouguera makes his 100th appearance for the club. El Hadj Diouf, who was on target for Rangers against Sporting in the last round. They'll be counting on him again. Danny Koevermans gives PSV striking know-how on the bench. Vladimir Weiss, bothered by a foot injury, might have a role to play for Rangers later. Ready for the off. Two teams with a staggering total of 144 major honours between them. They meet tonight here in Holland, and 7 nights from now at Ibrox for a place in the quarter-finals. Kyle Bartley, one of 5 defenders to begin with for Walter Smith's team. Bartley, who scored the only goal to see off St Mirren this past weekend. Well, Craig, how ambitious or otherwise do you think Rangers will be in the early stages?
I think they'll be cautious. Certainly to have a look at PSV to start with. Do the basics. David Weir in the centre of that back three. It's where we expect him to play. He's got the legs to play as one of the wider two, but we'll certainly try and marshal. A step up in the competition as you move forward. Sporting Lisbon was struggling. Rangers did a very good job. This is a completely different test.
Here's Matchett Bugera, confronted by Orlando Engelar. Comes to the dangerous Toivonen. Kyle Hutton kept his composure. No surprises from PSV. It's the same team that eliminated Lille in the last round of this competition. Stanislav Manolev is the Bulgarian right-back. Atiba Hutchinson, Canadian midfield player. They are very dependent on the flanks, PSV. Dujak on the left, Jeremaine Lens on the right. Here's Hutchinson. He had Morris Edu for company. Canadian against the American. Something of a free roll, Toivonen. Scorer of 13 goals in the Eredivisie alone this season. Here's Eric Peters. He's now the first choice at left back for the Dutch national team. Following in the footsteps of the former Rangers player Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Dujak. He's left-footed, but not afraid to turn onto his right boot as well. Rangers have to be careful. Bugera. Marcus Berg going down inside the box.
Yeah, certainly not a penalty kick, but I think Rangers are going to have to be really wary of PSV. They're only playing one up, technically. Marcus Berg, he's not a prolific goal scorer, 8 goals this season. But what they can't afford to have is some 3 centre-halves marking one. Standing there, sort of twiddling their thumbs at times, because that means they're going to get overrun in front. So one of them might have to step out, certainly onto Toivonen, who will play just in behind.
There's Jeremaine Lens, former AZ Alkmaar player. David Weir, intending to Berg, as Craig said. Hasn't really hit the headlines because of his goal-scoring prowess this season. Marcus Berg is on loan from Hamburg. This handball, quite clearly against Peters. Martin Hansen spotted that one.
I think one of the dangers for Rangers is just in terms of going forward when they do get possession is, I think out of a front, if you call them a front three or 2 wide and Juve through the middle, there's only Lafferty with any genuine ability to open the legs and put a bit of a stride on in terms of pace. Davis is not going to do that. El Hadjouf is not going to run away, so there's a lack of pace to be able to get in behind. Just wondering where that's going to come from Rangers.
5 times in the past, Rangers have defeated Dutch opposition. 3 of those wins coming against PSV. Now Dujak, and there's Neil Alexander to gobble it up. If you have just come in, wondering why Alexander is in goal. Matter of choice as far as Walter Smith was concerned. Alexander has been the League Cup goalkeeper. To give him a bit of game time for the big final against Celtic a week on Sunday. PSV have won 3 of the last 4 matches in all competitions. They are the Eredivisie leaders. 3 points ahead of FC Twente, the defending champions. There's the lively Lens. Whittaker sticking to his task. Whittaker in the Sasha Papac position. Papac ruled out after suffering concussion in the Scottish Cup meeting with Celtic last week. Toivonen. Here is Lens. Good flick by Toivonen. Manolev. Belted away by Whittaker without much fuss. Hutchinson. Brugada had stepped up, now he has to dash back. There's Jujak. Stephen Davis taking it away from him. Giving it straight to Eric Peters. Hutchinson. Marcelo is one of the central defenders, Wilfred Bauma the other. Marcelo, the Brazilian, the 18th Brazilian player to wear the colours of PSV. Scope for Edu to knock it forward. The offside flag was up against El Hadj Diouf. PSV have had plenty of the ball in the opening 7 minutes. Taking the ball, play continues, it's Whittaker. And Brugada. Kyle Bartley on loan from Arsenal. It's the tried and tested shape for Rangers. An away match in Europe. Hutton. Jujak. On the PSV left. PSV are already out of the Dutch Cup. They were knocked out recently by Twente. 7-6 on penalties. Comes off Marcelo last of all. Kenny McDowell trying to the Rangers players on as we speak. Not much goalmouth activity so far as we approach the 10-minute mark. Talking about it yesterday, the PSV players, the need for patience, an expectation that Rangers would be difficult to break down. There's Kyle Lafferty. He's overcome tonsillitis. Bauma, former Aston Villa player. It's Engelár, the captain. And away by Andreas Isaksson, who is seen by Rangers as the weak link.
It's just whether they can get enough pressure on him. It's, a bit of a blind overhead kick by Bauma, and it's not the greatest pass back by Ungelar, the skipper. There's a little bit too much pace on it. Just whether they can get enough pressure on that Isaksen's the goalkeeper and get some ball, some quality ball into the box and see what he's all about.
Juve was convinced he'd been fouled by Lenz. He might have had a case. Lafferty. Can expect to see a lot of Manolev. Tidy Bulgarian fullback. His 13th successive start. Rangers represented by just under 2,000 supporters here in the Netherlands tonight. Reports of one or two scuffles involving rival fans in the city centre earlier. Certainly everything is calm inside the Philips Stadium. Bauma. PSV just one short of the 100 mark in terms of goals in all competitions this season. Juchak has scored 21 of them. And to make the connection with Berg. Lenz. Here's Hutton. Making only his third appearance in European competition, Kyle Hutton. Scotland number 21 international. Bauma for PSV. Engelar, giant of a midfield player. Played under PSV coach Fred Rutten at FC Twente and at Schalke in Germany. Followed him here. Barkley. Well to find Lafferty. Now Manolev busting forward from right back. Here's Hutchinson. And Juchak pulls the trigger. Costa was back there defending alongside Bugera. Plenty of pace, Richard Foster, and that will come in handy tonight.
The problem was Rangers won it back there in that right back position, but had nowhere to go really, had no out ball, and subsequently it's just coming straight back again here.
Lenz wanted it back from Berg. Stephen Davis. Morris-Edu. Rangers goal-scoring hero in Lisbon. It must be said it was perhaps the simplest goal he'll ever score.
Timely as well, I would say.
Absolutely.
Some sterling work done by Ricky Foster and by the substitute David Healy, who both played quality balls.
Juchak whips it over. Played by David Weir for Rangers. Now Edu. Manolev. He's played 14 times for Bulgaria. Orlando Engelar. So much goes through Juchak. To go on a mazy run. It's Bugera. And Stephen Davis. Quarter of an hour gone here at the Philips Stadium. Yet to see any sort of chance.
Well, I think the good news, after the first 15 minutes is that Toivonen, and I'm watching him, the number 7 there, just walking behind Stephen Davis at the moment. Hasn't really attempted. He's almost lazy in his approach. He's just sort of walking about. He is getting in behind, but his movement's not been great up to this moment in time, so he hasn't given them too much of a headache.
Well, the touch on by Toivonen, it was nonchalant. Well, Neil Alexander had to look lively to foil Berg.
Up until that point, I was going to say. And again, I mean, he didn't do anything here. He just sort of sauntering around, walking in that little hole, and that's the quality. That's why he's the playmaker in there. Beautiful little touch. Splits open that back three. And Alexander did brilliantly there. Just so sharp to get out and smother the angle.
It's been a bit of a disappointment, Markus Berg, on loan from Hamburg. Engelár.
That was where one of the centre-halves, before he got that touch, one of them had to step out on him. The other two can pick up Berg.
There's Toivonen.
I just feel Rangers have got to get out. They've got to try and squeeze out a little bit.
Yeremain Lens, natural entertainer. Manolev, it came off Whittaker. And PSV have their first corner. Juszczyk tends to take them, irrespective of whether from the right or the left. Marcelo's making the late run. Here is Juszczyk. Alexander got a touch. Or did he?
Flat batted, didn't he? I don't know if it was the extra official or not. One or two Eindhoven players asking the question. No, don't think he got there at all, did he? Completely misses this. That won't do his confidence much good after making a very good save at the feet of Berg only a couple of minutes ago.
There is Barkley. We had Berg for company. Markus Berg, who made it to the semi-finals with Hamburg last season in this competition. Philip Koku there, beside Fred Rutten. Philip Koku, PSV legend, former Dutch international. Hutchinson. Lens. PSV certainly very comfortable playing at a high tempo. Juufra's the man fouled.
You see what's happening here, that Edu and Hutton they're consumed by Engelár and Hutchinson just in front. And they've also got Toivonen behind, so once they drop off to try and block Toivonen, then PSV just getting on the ball far too easily.
Braga have scored. Alain from the spot against Liverpool. And Berg trying to run onto it here.
Yeah, just peeled off David Weir there, and Bagheera was just slightly wider and couldn't get back in. A better touch and he was away there. That's what you can do to a back three.
Barkley to Angelich. Wasn't really close to picking out El Hadj Diouf. He goes across the defence to Marcelo. There's Manolev. Does Lens have the legs? Test for Alexander. One that he passes. Just putting the ball off the head of Berg.
Yeah, clatters into the boards as well here. Lens shows a good turn of pace, I've got to say. It's comfortable for Alexander. It was a similar start in Lisbon for Rangers to this first 20 minutes, wasn't it, Derek? Where They didn't have a great deal of possession, but they sprung that attack down that right-hand side. Lovely cross from Davis, and Juve got that opening goal, which sort of set them on their way and gave them that little bit of confidence that they could actually go and play and keep the ball a bit better.
There's Toivonen. Manolev. Playing through the legs of Whittaker. Fizzles out for PSV. Van Ruten's men have become very much a selling club in recent years. Manolev might be a candidate to be sold on the next season or two. Now Jujak will just scramble to get back. High and hopeful. Scored 5 goals in his last 6 games, Balázs Jujak. It's been a long time since the Hungarians have produced a really top player. Juve. There's Bougherra. Edu was competing for it. Toivonen. Engelár. Marcelo, the Brazilian, who used to play his club football in Poland for Wisła Krakow. PSV controlling the pace and the tempo of this game. Still 0-0. Hutchinson for Lens. Weir's header away. Again, Jeremaine Lens. Whittaker digging in. Whittaker, who scored against Sporting in the home leg. Stephen Davis. Up against his former Aston Villa teammate, Wilfried Bouma. Jujak back there in the deeper position for PSV. Toivonen reaching out. Down went Maurice Edu. Whittaker tried to slow down Manolev. Jeremaine Lens, and he fooled Lafferty. It comes off Bartley and goes spinning behind for another PSV corner.
Well, he was keeping the arms tucked away anyway, Bartley. I know it was a low strike, but he was certainly making sure he didn't go anywhere near his arms in that penalty box. They were tucked well behind his back.
It's the outswinger from Jujak. And by Manolev. Jujak. Now Hutchinson. Controlled by Manolev. Wilfried Bouma. It's in his 3rd spell with PSV. Manolev. Battle won by Whittaker. Davis couldn't quite get there. Toivonen. And goes Bougherra to good effect.
Yeah, it's exactly what you got to do with Toivonen there.
Edu using Majid Bougherra. And Juve at the far post. The idea was decent. Smith trying to get his message across. That's a real sign of attacking life from his team. Walter Smith's 84th European match as a manager. Toivonen. There's Peters. Davis trying to match his run. Kalas Jujak. Hasn't had his shooting boots on so far. Jujak was signed in 2007 from Debrecen amid little fanfare at the time. Engelar. Confusion between Engelar and Peters just then. Juve. There's Stephen Davis. Rangers trying to be methodical as they get men forward. Scottish teams, by the way, have managed just one victory in their last 7 games against Dutch Eredivisie opposition. They've lost 5 of those 7. Lafferty is falling a bit awkwardly.
Challenge from Marcello. I think he takes a right knee on his backside. Top of the leg. Bit of a bruise.
Not much of an attacking dimension so far from Rangers, Craig, but they are keeping the door firmly bolted.
Yep, so far so good in that sense. Not a lot else, as you mentioned, but I don't think that's very surprising, is it?
Lenz looking for Manolev. It's well timed by Whittaker. Still Stephen Whittaker. Finally, Marcelo nips in to solve the problem. Hansen from Sweden, the main match official. No matter what he does, he's always going to be associated with that Thierry Henry decision that wasn't made. Dragged to the ground by Marcelo. Nogueira lending height to the attack at the set piece. Bartley's gone up as well. Side Kyle Lafferty. Here is Whittaker. Rangers happy to compete. Morris Edu, crisp shot. It's blocked by the veteran Wilfred Bouma. Breezy, almost brisk night in this part of Holland. Foster with the quickly taken throw. Now had Juve. And it's a corner. Rangers first. Marcelo trying to take care of Lafferty. Here is Juve. That went Bartley. Comes off Berg last of all. He's trying to break the shackles of Ola Toivonen. Hansen wanted a quick word with Messrs Lafferty and Marcelo. Bartley is trotting off here.
I think he was suggesting just 30 seconds ago there might have been an elbow in there when that last corner kick came in.
So without Bartley, Juve takes the corner, which is dealt with by Peters. Comes back to Davis. The fourth official, Andreas Ekberg, was satisfied. Bartley allowed to return.
Yeah, he's actually just headed the back of Berg.
Blank score sheet here at the Philips Stadium. It's the first part of our Europa League doubleheader here on ESPN. Take you to the Amsterdam Arena later. Ajax against Spartak Moscow. Whittaker. Will be a Rangers throw. Wilton didn't necessarily see it that way. Weir. Just a reminder, we'll have FA Cup 6th round action coming up on Saturday. We'll take you to the Midlands for Birmingham against Bolton. We're on at noon. And then on Sunday, again on the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON, Manchester City against Reading. We kick off at 4.
In good form, Reading. On a bit of a charge in the Championship. One or two think they might even sneak it in the automatic under Brian McDermott. Big task though, isn't it, going up to the Hastings.
Reading conquerors of Everton the last round. Manolev for PSV. It's Peters skidding along the ground. And we are intervening for Rangers. Jujak has been well shackled so far, it must be said. Engelar. There's Manolev. Rangers again getting bodies behind the ball. Orlando Engelar deceived Stephen Davis. Berg was hoping to finish off the move. Davis. Weir quickly forwards. To find Morris Edu. Jujak. Hutchinson used to play his club football in Denmark for FC Copenhagen. Janemain Lens going one way then the other. Lens for PSV.
Well, didn't have too many options. Had Berg across the 6-yard box. Might have had a pull back to Toivonen, who was just round about the penalty spot. Good feet from Lens. Bartley just showing him wide, which is the right thing to do. And again, maybe a little bit of frustration taking the shot from that angle. There's not been much from Neil Alexander, has there? And that one very good save from the best play in the game from Toivonen. A little flick through to Berg. Keep it out quick and narrowed the angle.
So with Bougera, Davis carries on. Bougera's still on the ground. Algerian getting back up onto his feet now. PSV are going to be very disappointed that their star players, Jujak, Toivonen, too, have been kept quiet. It's a tribute to Rangers.
Well, between the three that play behind Berg, you just mentioned there, Lens, Toivonen and Jujak, there's 49 goals this season in all comps. I mean, that's a lot, but up to now they haven't really shown too much, have they?
Nogueira, down has gone Balas Dujak, and the free kick is awarded.
Yeah, I think he does this quite a lot at times, Nogueira, where he tries to get in there and nick balls away where any contact, certainly in Europe, and players are going to go over.
Plenty of fight about PSV. Engelart trying to change direction, in by Dujak. It's gone wide in the end. Marcelo, the central defender.
Well, Rangers flat-footed at the back post. Just swings in, everybody watching the ball. Flick on comes here. Two players, Marcelo and Berg. Luckily for Rangers, Marcelo just takes it away from Berg, who looked as if was going to get there and wasn't stretching as much.
Let off the Rangers. Whittaker. It's not bad though, is it? 99 goals in all competitions this season for PSV. Davis. Here's El Hadj trying to nip in behind Marcelo. And Manolev, as though the ball was over the byline. That's what Juve is arguing.
Well, extra assistant was a yard and a half away, so he should have had a good view. I think if that was a player with a lot more pace here, then that would have been a great chance there.
Stephen Davis.
Just didn't quite have the pace, Derek Juve, to go that extra yard away.
Through by Edu. Toivonen hasn't really got going in this first half so far. It's Manolev. Barkley has tried to head it away. No damage done.
You mentioned those goals for Eindhoven this season, but there are, I mean, if we put it in context, there are quite a few whipping boys in the Dutch league, aren't there?
They did win 10-0 one of the games against Feyenoord.
How does that work? I thought Feyenoord were one of the big clubs.
Supposed to be. More than giants at the moment, it seems. Engelart, slack ball. Nogueira was onto it immediately. Here's Juve. Bartley for Whittaker. Racing past Lens initially. Stephen Whittaker. Manolev, that's a corner. He didn't give up, Stephen Whittaker.
Well, it's great play from Whittaker, and I'll tell you why, because nobody else would bother to help him. He looked around for support and he was, come on fellas, get up and support me here, and did really, really well. I mean, that's something, that's a corner out of absolute nothing. He picked that up in his left back area with no options whatsoever.
El Hadj for the delivery. Away by Lens, as far as Richard Foster. Lafferty to stick out the leg. Juve. Marcelo. Manolev found himself over on the left for once. Here's Dujak trying to skin Foster. Nogueira was there. Extra cover. Alexander straight down the throat of Engelart. Tactical battle unfolding. Davis. Rangers in this first half, obdurate, organised. Edu. Too strong for Lafferty. Let's run through the latest scores in the other matches. Bayer Leverkusen 1 goal to the good against Villarreal. Told you about Braga earlier. And it's 0-0 between CSKA Moscow and Porto. Similar story here at the Philips Stadium. Peters. Jack Berg was his target. Laverty made the run, but the offside flag does go up.
He's onside. That's a very, very poor decision there. Wonder whether there might be some merit in switching Juve and Lafferty at some point, just because of Lafferty's ability in terms of his pace to just spin in the channel like that on that ball there where he was onside.
Jack too close to Alexander.
Certainly Juve can come back and do a job in that side there, right on that left hand side. I mean, he can fill in. He's done that for almost every club he's been at. That is something maybe for Walter to think about in the second half. If he's not want to make a personnel change, you can certainly shift those two.
Something for the boys in the studio to chew on during the half-time interval. Colin Hendry and Richard Gough were with Ray Stubbs.
Yeah, I mean, I just think sometimes you need an outball, and that outball sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty, but it might just have to be stuck in the channel, and I think Lafferty would have more chance of getting there than Juve would.
There's Barkley. Let's give Walter Smith flexibility. He can play as one of the central defenders or front of the defence if need be. He wants to change tactics later. Whittaker. It's worked out very well for Rangers here. Morris Edu. Now Davis. And Foster had continued his run. And Rangers have carved a corner out of that. A bit of dynamism from Richard Foster.
Yeah, I mean, you just feel looking at this PSV Eindhoven side that they've got plenty of goals in them, or they have had this season, but at the back, the Rangers have shown a little bit more an offer to go forward. They can create one or two spaces, they can maybe create some half chances.
Trying to break free against Marcelo. Barkley couldn't quite get his head to the ball. Entering Juve's corner. David Weir. Sliding in on Jeremaine Lens. Free kick, says referee Martin Hansen. Rangers not the favourites to go through this tie. They're putting themselves very well so far, restricting PSV's opportunities. It was a fruitless chase in the end from Marcus Berg. Fred Rutten made a name for himself at 20. His entire playing career there.
Well, they've had one opportunity, haven't they? PSV Eindhoven, that's it in a nutshell. And that was that little flick on from Toivonen into Berg, and Alexander did very well. But apart from that, the Rangers have just held their shape and they've been quite comfortable.
Rangers will be the happier of the two teams. Marcus Berg had one little sniff, but Neil Alexander to the rescue. Walter Smith will now get to address his players and make the necessary changes in terms of what they might do in the second half. But at half-time at the Philips Stadium, it is PSV 0, Rangers 0.
This is the league where the best play. The League of the World Cup Champions. This is the League of the Stars. The League of the Derbies. This is not any league. This is the Spanish League. Don't miss La Liga BBVA this weekend on ESPN and ESPN2.
Winter X Games Europe. For the second straight year, the biggest action sports stars bring their best tricks to Team France for 3 jam-packed days. As the world's elite snowboarders and skiers push the limits in superbike and shred up the course in slopestyle. Who will take home the gold? Winter X Games Europe starts Tuesday, live only on ESPN2.
Anytime, any place. Log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com, the most popular football website in the world. Up to the second news coverage. Live scores from leagues around the world. In-depth features and commentary. Live chats. Expert columnists and bloggers. Multiple fantasy games and more. ESPNSoccerNet.com. Log on right now.
Hey, Ovi.
Hey, what's up?
What are you doing in the dark, man?
Nothing, just the late night filings.
Really? Late night filing? What are you, a Russian spy or something?
Yeah, right.
All right, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Пронесло.
Да, уж чуть не спалили.
ESPN, your NBA destination. MVP candidate Derrick Rose leads the high-flying Bulls to take on the playoff-bound Atlanta Hawks. It's all about desire. Hawks, Bulls, live Saturday on ESPN.
RBS Six Nations Rugby continues live this week. Late night Saturday, Italy look to notch their first win against holders France. Then later, Wales battle Ireland.
Jamie Heaslip gets Ireland's first try.
Then on Sunday night, undefeated England take on Scotland. Six Nations, one crown. RBS Six Nations, exclusively live on ESPN.
Simon Dumont is one of the world's best freestyle skiers, known for his massive air and outrageous tricks.
Over 20 feet, Simon Dumont. Oh!
For the first time ever, we're gonna see precisely what Simon sees when he pulls one of these amazing tricks.
Look at that!
To do this, we're gonna wire him up with a high-tech instrument called an eye tracker. It uses 2 cameras, one facing away from Simon and one aimed toward his right eyeball. This camera tracks the movement of his pupil, and by overlaying the footage from the 2 tiny cameras, we'll be able to determine exactly where Simon's looking. Like most of us, Simon has a 140-degree field of binocular vision. As he starts his run, Simon immediately narrows his gaze to a 3-degree range where he wants to drop in. Halfway up the bottom of the pipe, his eyes track up the wall and lock in on the 4-inch blue line on the lip. His retinas are processing 20 million bits of information per second. That's 20 times faster than a high-speed internet connection. To keep the flight in focus, Simon's eyes lock in on the lip and then rapidly scan down to his landing target 10 feet below. His eyes lead the head leads the body, and his body rotates to catch up with his eyes. For most of us, when we're spinning around and suddenly stop, the fluids are still sloshing around in the inner ear. But our eyes tell the brain we've stopped moving. These mixed signals result in dizziness or vertigo. But like a fighter pilot, Simon's years of training enable him to utilize a technique called vestibular suppression. His brain ignores any mixed signals and he lands safely. For Sports Science on ESPN, I'm John Brankus.
And this weekend here on ESPN, 2 Eon-sponsored FA Cup quarter-finals. On Saturday from midday, it's Birmingham versus Bolton. And then on Sunday afternoon, Manchester City against the only remaining non-Premier League team, Championship side Reading. That's from 4 o'clock and the draw for the semi-finals will be made just after 4 o'clock. Here on Europa League Live, we're following Rangers' bid for a place in the quarter-finals of the competition. It's PSV Eindhoven 0, Rangers 0 at the Philips Stadium in Holland. Richard Goff and Colin Hendry are here in the ESPN studio. So far, pretty good for Rangers. Yep. Decent game plan, well executed, would you agree?
They've set themselves up well. We said that, you know, they've got a bank of 5 and a bank of 4, and it's difficult for PSV to break them down. We've got to remember Rangers have been to better teams than PSV. I think they went to Manchester United and got a 0-0. So other than a few scares,
it's well disciplined, isn't it? It's not a high tempo. It's not as if it's in their faces every 2 minutes. There's no space for the PSV strikers or forward-thinking players to get in and have an opportunity. And on the other hand, there's no outlet, of course, for Rangers when they do get possession of the ball, but it's been disciplined, it's been decent, it's been good 45 minutes.
Well organised, would that be the right term to say?
Absolutely.
Very well organised. The problem, Ray, is if you do the problem.
This is where you're talking about discipline. You know, I think
you'll see the bank of 5 the Rangers have got in there, and the bank of 4, and this is very difficult to break down. And
they're together, aren't they?
Yeah, all together, close together.
Richard, they get together. You'll see another 2 come out here.
Yeah.
And they're moving it out into the wider areas, and I mean, this is all the thing that.
Who's the architect of all this? Who will lead it? Davy Weir.
Maybe Davy, yeah.
Where Davy Weir takes his line, yeah.
This is an example. This is an example. You don't have any forward players in order to try and link up to, but if you can push out at that time, you do create an attack. And there you go. There's Bugera, who's one of the central defenders in the attacking position, trying to create something. So you might have to rely on that for most of this evening.
You're not going to go through a whole game against a team of the quality of PSV Eindhoven, and they're going to get a sniff at goal, and they've had a couple of chances, but that's only to be expected.
If they, like we said, here's a great ball by Toivonen and just some great movement. But
well done, Alexander. But he's picked up the Teddy Sheringham position there. Look, the space between the middle 4 and the back 5, the back 4, and it is a very, very nice touch. Great save. Well done, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's done well. The goalkeeper hasn't let Rangers down, like I said before, in any games. He's done well. It's not, and we've got to remember, it's not up to Rangers to make the game. It's up to PSV to come out. The problem is if Rangers do happen to lose a goal, then they've got to come out and open up a wee bit.
I think
that's a problem.
That's probably their best chance, I would say. You know, 2 players have gotten in their way there, but they just need to say good night, Werner. It's the back of the net, but 3 chances, that's not too bad, and there weren't, out and out real chance apart from that one at the end.
Okay, you know what's going to be happening here, Walter Smith and Ali, because will they be walking around their dressing room now, going individually, people saying more of the same, keep going?
Yeah, I think they go and say, look, well done, but we're only halfway there. The first 10 minutes is crucial again, as it is in the opening period of the game. The first 10-15 minutes of this half, crucial again, because in Europe things can change like in a flash.
Second half is on the way. Second leg matches we played next Thursday, by the way. The winners progress to the last 8 of the competition. So far, pretty good for Rangers. PSV have created a few chances, but Rangers have held firm. Second half coming right up.
Hello there. OK, none of us wanted to see the things that happened at the end of the Old Firm game last week. There is no place in football for this kind of behaviour from any team. This brings us to what is happening in the life of Celtic's manager Neil Lennon. If reports are to be believed, Lennon had to forego a trip to his native Northern Ireland because of death threats. This is not the first time that he and his family have been under threats. Live bullets have been sent in the mail and all kinds of other threats have been made. His life is a danger to live. Why? Because he's from Northern Ireland and manages Celtic. This is sickening, and anybody who is part of it is definitely not football fans. In fact, they may not even be human beings in my mind. Lennon has been a great professional player and manager. He has contributed much to the game in his native land, and in my opinion, he owes nobody anything. Let the man live his life with his family in peace and comfort. Don't use football to promote some sixth agenda. That's what's in the Old Onion bag this week, and I'm Tommy Smith with a Y.
Looking to be number 1, Ryan Villapano wins in the high blood. Is James Stewart back? You bet he is. Ryan Dungey has done it. It's over. Oh, here he comes. He's not done. Dungey going for it. He takes the win!
I'm Kobe Cotton, and I'm this guy. I'm Corey Cotton, and I'm the guy that looks like the other guy.
Dude, perfect.
I'm Cody Jones, and I'm the tall guy.
Dude, perfect.
I'm Tyler Tony, and I'm the bearded guy.
What's up, E60? We're Dude Perfect from College Station, Texas, the original trick shot guys.
We're actually a group of 6 college guys. I know there's only 4 of us here today. Garrett Hilbert couldn't be here. He's the red-headed guy. And Sean Townsend, he's actually already at med school.
The whole Dude Perfect thing started when me and Garrett walked outside. I bet him on a lunch that I couldn't make a shot from across the backyard. And I ended up making it the first try, and so we decided that we should start filming those shots.
The way that name came about is Sean went and set up the camera on the deck in our backyard. It was in the frame, and so he said, "Dude, perfect."
Yes!
As for the amount of time it takes to make the shots, it takes about 10 to 15 on average. The Kyle Field shot took about 70 tries.
Play ESPNU Collegetown at BeTheDean.com and put your school on the map. ESPNU Collegetown. Build it, run it, beat your friends.
In March, the best in sports is on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. The UEFA Champions League is heating up with leg 2 of the round of 16. Join us for the madness. The 2011 NCAA tournament has arrived.
From 3, yes!
The ATP World Tour Masters 1000 is here. Catch the world's top tennis pros right here. The best in snow sports return to the mountains of Teen for Winter X Games Europe. The NBA rolls on as division leaders and playoff hopefuls step up their game as the regular season nears the end.
Threw it behind him and still knocked it down.
6 nations collide, but only one will be crowned champion. Don't miss the conclusion of RBS 6 Nations.
Ashton cannot stop scoring.
All this and more in March only on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD.
Welcome back to Europa League Live. Let's run through all tonight's half-time scores in matches underway. 4-0, 4 more kick-off at just after 8 o'clock. Leverkusen 1, Villarreal 1. Liverpool losing in Portugal to Braga by a goal to nil. That was a penalty in the 6th minute. And at CSK in Moscow 0, FC Porto 0. FC Porto, the second favourites. Richard Goff and Colin Hendry are watching Rangers game in Holland with Dutch leaders PSV Eindhoven. Rangers always got great support. And with the second half of the PSV Eindhoven match about to kick off, just quickly, Colin and Richard, a second goal, a goal for Rangers, a away goal. Should you push for it?
That would be fantastic. I would just ask for same again, chaps.
Concentrate.
And back to Craig Burley and Derek Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Perfect timing. PSV aren't going to be unduly worried about this state of affairs. I say that because 13 of the last 14 goals they have scored have come in the second half. I think the last 7 goals in European competition have come after the interval. So PSV attacking the goal to our left. Didn't make too much attacking headway in the first half, it must be said. Rangers were resilient, obstinate. There's Wilfred Bouma. The pressure from Morris Edu. The free kick is given.
Well, I thought there were one or two, or quite a few occasions in that first half where Rangers' shape maybe just wasn't quite as they would have wanted. Of course, you can't just sit in that shape for the whole game. But I thought Toivonen, who had one real bit of class in that first half with that flick, I thought he was lazy, Derek. I thought he sort of just wandered about, didn't try and make any angles at times when he was in a decent area behind the midfield. I think that suited Rangers.
There's Orlando Engelar. Scored 6 goals in 35 matches this season, Engelar. Often pops up inside the opposition penalty area. He's always behind the on-rushing Dujak. Kept by Berg. His teams, by the way, have failed to score in the last 3 visits to the Netherlands. Let's go back to Rangers' 3-2 defeat at the hands of Feyenoord in February of 2002. Marcelo. One of 5 PSV players on a yellow card. Looking tonight would mean suspension come the second leg at Ibrox. Bugera and Morris Edu for Rangers are in that same category. Balázs Dujak. Edu was with him. Toivonen thought about going for the ball. Couldn't get his head to it. Something of a low-key affair, this, up to this point. I suppose Rangers are worried one iota about that. Marcelo. Manolev, the right back. Engelar, the skipper. It's just one more goal, Engelar, for his best ever scoring season. There's Atiba Hutchinson. Seen a lot more game time since Ibrahim Afellay was transferred to Barcelona. Manolev. And he's trying to discomfit Whittaker. Lafferty. No foul, but Lafferty couldn't keep the ball for long. Engelar. Toivonen. Here's Hutchinson. Rangers' barrier was in place again. Hutchinson. Knocked away by Edu, effectively too. Foster. He's doing it on his own here. Richard Foster. And due for the centre. And the alarm bells were sounding at the back for PSV. Finally away by Engelar.
Yeah, I said in the first half, I think it's the one thing that can certainly get at this PSV defence, and that's pace. That's why I wonder why maybe sticking Lafferty through the middle. They've been caught a couple of times. Don't like them turn towards their own goal, this PSV defence. They're not the quickest, certainly not the 2 centre-backs.
Weah and Bartley making their way forward. Juve and Weah. And it didn't quite fall for Bartley. Whittaker. 5 minutes into the second half. Surge by Richard Foster, giving Rangers a bit of impetus. Mentioned that it is a chilly night here in the Netherlands. The Philips Stadium quite well equipped to see off the cold conditions because of the heaters on the roof. It's quite a toasty experience for fans at this venue. We're very proud, PSV, to have been a number of years ago the first club to introduce such gas-mounted heaters. Here's Toivonen, and Berg pulling the trigger. Well, he didn't miss by very much, Marcus Berg. Rangers opened up.
Yeah, I think the Rangers can be thankful he's not prolific. But it's that little hole again that Toivonen gets into. Just in behind, a little diagonal run, just off the back of David Weir, who's just stepped up a little bit. Doesn't go with the runner, Bagheera can't get there. That's what happens when you're playing a back three at times. There will be gaps in there. And that's not a great finish from Berg. Should have scored.
He knows it. No goals in his last 5 matches, Marcus Berg. Engelaar. Things starting to open up a bit at the beginning of the second half here at the Philips Stadium. Peters. Jujak. Forster was well positioned. Forster on loan from Aberdeen. It was clever. Peters with Jujak. Toivonen inside the area. It's back to Eric Peters. It's given to him by Morris Edu. Juve. Comes to Engelaar for PSV. Now Hutchinson. So again, Rangers trying to get themselves organised. The bank of 4 in front of the bank of 5. Lenz. Berg. And Lenz trying to get the break of the ball. Bagheera. Goes pass. Jujak. Balas Jujak. We gave him a big build-up at the start. He hasn't delivered up to this point.
Well, he's not gone here. He keeps trying to shoot from about 35 yards on the angle. That's what he has done 3 times in this game. And Rangers will be very happy for that. Andrew will be saying, you can shoot from there, pull the trigger, no problem. It's not going to be a drama for them.
PSV, the Dutch Eredivisie leaders. Rangers currently second in the SPL. 5 points behind Celtic, but with 2 games in hand. Hutchinson for PSV. Selling Manolev short. Orlando Engelaar. There's Berg. And a big shout from the home crowd, but that was never going to be given. It's Manolev busting through.
Yeah, that's what you would describe as attempting to con the referee. The arm goes across from Bartlett, but that's not a penalty. That's called cheating.
Certainly there was some embellishment from Manolev. Edu wins the throw.
I hate players that do that, you know. Far too many of them. And then you wonder why referees have got such a tough job.
Foster. Superbly against Dujak. Richard Foster in this match so far. Almost 11 minutes into the second half, and a bit of space for Stephen Whittaker. And it didn't quite arrive on the head of Juve. Bauma was making sure of that.
Yeah, not the tallest Bauma, a left back really. Time at Aston Villa where he had a really bad leg break, didn't quite work out from 32 now. Just in behind there, good position from Bauma. There's all his experience there.
Shoot for the corner for Rangers. It was an effective header by Kyle Bartley. Scored at the weekend against St Mirren, and Isaacson had to think about that.
Yeah, gets across his man here, Bartley. Gets a good run on him. Berg is picking him up. He gets blocked by his own teammates.
Juve once again. Hit on the volley by Kyle Hutton. Too happy to let it trickle out. Davis. Hutton. In by Foster. Peters for a header. Stephen Whittaker low and hard.
Well here. Good save from Isaacson, who's quite a tall keeper as you can see, so he was able to get that big left arm out there.
Two-legged contests seem to suit Rangers. They prevailed in the last 5 if you exclude qualifying matches, qualifying ties. Big European competitions. Hutchinson out to that far side. Waiting there is Manolev. Engelar. Lenz again for Manolev. It's a gritty survival plan for Rangers in an away match in Europe. Not the first time we've seen it. Into practice. Foster was attending to Dujak. Support for Dujak from Peters. And Hansen sorts it out. It's taken quickly. PSV throw. Engelar. Now Hutchinson, the Canadian. Manolev, the Bulgarian. Exercise in frustration, this for PSV Eindhoven so far. They're just keeping them in check. And the tumble is taken by Berg. A very convincing one. Lenz. Manolev. Lenz for Hutchinson. He topples over and wins the free kick in a position of danger.
Yeah, Davis just tries to read this and he just gets the body there, gets that right leg just out a little bit, and contact's made. I think if he stays on his feet there, he's going to play the advantage, isn't he? So in many ways it was probably suited Rangers just to call it back. He's going to do the job here.
Baras Dujak, inviting angle for the naturally left-footed player. And here is Dujak. Well, it's his best effort of the night so far, by some distance.
Well, he's getting closer. In saying that, if you witnessed his first 3 shots, then that wouldn't have been difficult. It was the law of averages. very, very difficult to score from there. I think you're probably better off whipping it into that area towards the back post, where if it gets a flick on.
Was it just me, or did Juchak steal a couple of yards in terms of taking that free kick?
Might have been just you, mate.
It is possible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Here is Juchak. Comfortable for Alexander. Simon in. And Berg this time. Oh, he's kicked it too far forward for his own good. Bartley was covering for Rangers.
But this is stupid, because Neil Alexander wanted to take a quick goal kick there, and there's only El Hadj Diouf up on his own. What's the point in doing that? And only that poor touch from Berg, and Bartley getting in saves him there, really. Well, he's not a goal scorer, and I think you can see why. He's a bit of a lump up front, isn't he? But if you're the goalkeeper there, and you've got the ball in your hands, what's the point kicking it 70 yards to a lone striker? You might as well get the whole team squeezed up and then kick it. At least when it drops down, if it does, you might have one or two players around about the fringes to pick any of the loose balls up.
Rangers might be under pressure again. Juchak tries to arrow it to Lenz. Majid Bugera. He's enjoying the old surge forward. Foster. Davis. Here's Hutton helping it on. Rangers trying to build a platform for themselves with a second leg at Ibrox in mind. Whittaker. Storming off the advance of Manolev. Bugera. Foster trying to put the wind up. Eric Peters. Vladimir Weiss is going to be introduced. Weiss has missed the last couple of games because of a foot problem. And El Hadj Diouf will depart. This shift is over. That of Weiss is about to commence. Walter Smith was talking about the importance of Weiss ahead of this game, his pace and ability to hang on to the ball. Danny Koevermans numbering up for PSV, who might well be about to replace this man, Marcus Berg, who's been poor. Here's Peters.
Looks like they're going to put Weiss straight through the middle, up there on his own, which I would imagine is unfamiliar to him.
There's Lenz having a go on this left-hand side now. And there's gone Majid Bugera. Free kick.
Yeah, Lenz and Juchak are switch side, which I think is always a sign of frustration for any side as this game wears on. Bugera comes across and reads it there, and that's just a little cynical kick out, nowhere near the ball.
We have seen Weiss play before in a free role just off the main front man, haven't we? But not really as the front runner himself.
Well, he's gone over to the left now. I think we thought that might be the case with Lafferty through the middle.
Minutes into the second half. Stalemate here in Eindhoven. worked tirelessly for each other, the Rangers players. They've recorded just one victory in the last 19 matches in European competition. And coming against Bursaspor in the Champions League back in September. Statistic could be very misleading because, of course, they progressed in Sporting by drawing both games. 1-1 at home, 2-2 away. Marcelo for Wilfried Baumer. Peters. Rangers have dropped back. Foster with Lenz, but no free kick.
Well, I thought that was a bit risky there. He has a little poke at him. He tries to spin him just here. I think that's a free kick. Just outside the box, but the right leg comes out and he spins and he goes over it. I think they get away with that one.
That's Jujak. As you mentioned, Craig, he's over there on the right now. And the switch with Lenz. Whittaker. Lafferty. Taken away from him by Engelart. PSV normally the second half specialists. Jujak. Away efficiently enough by David Weir. Engelart. Rangers, remember, have never lost to PSV. Four previous meetings of the two teams. They've won 3 of those 4 matches, Rangers. Lenz. Oh, it was a carefully played ball towards Berg. Trying to flick it past Alexander. I wonder if that might be Marcus Berg's last piece of activity in this game. Fred Rutten is about to make the change. He's had Danny Koevermans going through his paces. Held up by Lafferty. And went Marcelo. Went Whittaker, here's Barkley, now Bugera. Smith was talking before ball was kicked tonight about the importance of scoring an away goal. A two-legged tie. Would he have settled for 0-0 at the start? We wonder. Weir went chopping in. Here's the change. It's by and large a popular one. Danny Koevermans to come on for Marcus Berg.
Well, to be fair, you don't see many centre-forwards with a number 6 in the back. And he's played up front like a centre-half. And Rangers could be thankful for that, because he's certainly not prolific. That's for sure. He's been in some good positions tonight, Berg, but I think with the sound of the fans here, they prefer him to be in the one he is now, and that's parked on the bench.
Put it in by Jujak. Rangers will have to get themselves organised to defend at the set piece. Barkley last of all. Koevermans is a threat in the air. Jujak with it. Bugera who got his head to the ball. Jujak wasn't closed down quickly. Look at the freedom here from Marcelo. What a chance. for the Brazilian central defender.
Well, I can only presume he's closed his eyes here, because it's easier to miss. All he's got to do, and I say all, he's got to head that down and back across where it comes from. And that's an open goal almost, because he's moving over to his right, Alexander, and if he nods it down to that other side to his left, it has to be the opening goal. And that's a huge let-off.
Scored against Lille in the last round, Marcelo.
A bit worrying about the amount of space he had at that back post, mind you. Somebody not picking up, somebody watching the ball there. There's Jujak just coming inside and dipping it in. No real pace on it, but whether it was for Marcelo or not, I'm just trying to put it in an area.
Vladimir Weiss. Peters with the throw. Lens. Williams was hovering. Toivonen. It's been a bit ponderous from PSV going forward, but well, no free kick. Jujak is incensed.
Well, I don't know if you heard the shouts there at home, but there was shouts coming, I think from it was either Rangers players or the technical area to show him down the line. Jujak, left-footed, he's come inside a couple of times in this second half recently and allowed easy crosses into the box. He doesn't seem to want to go down his right side onto his weaker foot, and that's where the shout was to shovel him there. And again, they didn't. They let him come back in that left foot.
There's Bauma. And Peters. Lens. Davis there together with Edu. There's Boguera and now Weiss. Down has gone Vladimir Weiss. Smith didn't want to risk him from the start. Davis. To team up with Kyle Lafferty, and the whistle's gone. See what Jujak thinks about that decision from Martin Hansen.
Yeah, well, the boot's up from Jujak. There you go. Studs are up, just a bit shoulder height. Of course it's a free kick.
Weir's up there, Barkley's up there. Played in by Vladimir Weiss. It's a Rangers throw taken by Stephen Davis. There's a nimble Weiss. And he thought the free kick might be coming his way, not so.
I think he tripped over his own feet there, just trying to do a little step over. Just get Weiss running at them, get him backing up and use his pace. He's got that change of pace, he's got it in his locker. Got to use it.
What do PSV have in their repertoire? They try to unlock this very tight Rangers defence. Bauma for Peters. Engelard, Toivonen. He hasn't had too many touches of the ball in this match on a Toivonen. He's been well policed.
Well, he's been easy to police because he hasn't, as I say, he's not made too many efforts to make room for himself.
Davis. Did well to get there. Back when Peters for PSV. Not sure nothing untoward happened. Bugella on the ground.
Jujak again, high boot, second time.
Has to be a bit careful, Balas Jujak, because he's one of the 5 PSV players on a yellow card.
Well, I would imagine if there's another infringement, he'll be getting that very card again.
That would mean suspension with the second leg in mind. Lafferty to nod it back. Lens. Well, free kick. That's to Kyle Lafferty's chagrin. And there is a yellow card. It's the first of the night. Handed out by Martin Hansen.
Well, he does well initially to get back in there, Lafferty, but then he just, for some reason, puts his hand on the right shoulder and sort of drags him over a little bit of contact.
What do PSV have up the sleeve? There's Bartley. Going to get behind for the corner.
I think they're just looking for a little bit more pressure in the ball there.
Taken quickly. Jujak to Manolev. Careers of Davis. Balas Jujak. For everyone. Eidenhoven's used sparingly in recent games by Fred Rutten. This is his first appearance in European competition since the 1-1 draw with Sampdoria back on the 16th of September. Kyle Hutton. Tremendous play in midfield by the youngster. Whittaker. Here's Weiss. Outpacing Manolev. Vladimir Weiss for Rangers. Weiss goes down, but it's with Edu. Let's give Rangers an extra dimension. Whittaker. And there's Isaacson. A real threat in the end. PSV supporters roaring their team on. Jujak, Toivonen. Moments of quality from Ola Toivonen have been few and far between. A reminder that we'll have FA Cup 6th round action for you on Saturday. We'll take you to St Andrews for Birmingham against Bolton. We're on at noon. And then on Sunday, Manchester City against Reading in that same competition. 4 o'clock our starting time. Jeremy Lens as Toivonen with Koopmans behind him. Rangers scratching and clawing. Weiss. He's elected to use Kyle Hutton. PSV were a bit slow in reacting. Here's Lafferty on the turn. Kyle Lafferty. Well, it's an effort towards the opposition goal. And young Greg Wild is going to come on now. The 19-year-old for his first appearance in European club competition. Will be all for Kyle Lafferty. Still hasn't scored in Europe. Wild normally operates on the left-hand side. Likes to run at opposing defenders, Craig.
Yeah, that'll just leave Weiss through the middle, won't it? Didn't have much impact. Lafferty did, it was difficult for him. To be convinced what type of player he actually is. £3 million or so, as it's shown in his time at Rangers, in my opinion, a great deal.
There's Lenz taking on Foster. Edu. Weiss. It's the player who was unable to hang on to it. Another test of Rangers' mettle on the European stage. 0-0 draw on the away leg always gives you a chance coming home. Engelar. Oh, it's Koevermans. And here is Balas Jujak. Stephen Whittaker is back there for Rangers. Manolev. Here's Hutchinson. PSV look for a bit of penetration. Jujak comes off Whittaker. Another PSV corner ensues. Hotman Bakal is going to come on. Local boy, born here in Eindhoven. Jujak. That'll be a Weiss. Trying to run with the ball with his feet. Reminiscent this of so many performances away from home by Rangers. The run to the UEFA Cup final in 2008. Atiba Hutchinson has managed to get it out to Jeremaine Lenz. And Foster. Corner again. Alexander making sure everyone knows his responsibility. Jujak with it. Off the head of Marcelo. Scored that golden chance earlier. And now they change. That will see Ola Toivonen go off. And I'm sure the Rangers players are thinking to themselves, job done. They've kept one of the PSV stars quiet. Really, in his case, all night.
It's about the quickest he's moved all night as well. For somebody with so much supposed talent, I thought he was very lazy in there.
Well, the PSV old boys are here. Arthur Newman, of course, knows a thing or two about Rangers as well as PSV. Hotman Bakal, the replacement for Toivonen. Orlando Engelar. Bakal immediately out to Jujak. He's back on the left here. It's Hutchinson. Canadian taking aim. And to his credit, wanted to win the ball back as quickly as possible. Rangers hesitated. And again is Hutchinson. Koevermans back to Engelar. Jujak. Hutton and Edu. Edu for Stephen Davis. Inside the final 5 minutes of normal time. We run through the other later scores. 4 goals in Leverkusen, still that 1 in Braga for the home side, and Porto have taken the lead in Moscow. Manolev, and away by Bartley. It's been a mature performance from young Kyle Bartley.
Well, it's certainly easier to be organised and sit in than it is come out and attack. And that's what Rangers will have to do at some point at Ibrox.
It's Bartley's header here. Jermaine Lens, Stephen Davis. Away by Wild, the substitute.
I think that's when it becomes the difficulty of getting the balance right. It's so defensive when they come to places like this. When they go home in front of the big crowd at Ibrox, and they've got to come out a bit more. You have to be very careful of the likes of Toivonen, who's gone off and who's supposedly the playmaker. He may just get that little bit more room in the second leg. Rangers will have to guard against that.
0-0 for the home team. The first leg is never the worst result in the world. Rangers have to pay attention. Just watching it. Lens for short. It took a deflection. That's not how Stephen Whittaker saw it, Craig. There's Jack with the corner. Nothing comes of it. Something that Rangers need worry about. Wilfred Bouma attacking the ball. Fred Ruten's side prevailed in their 3 away matches in the group stage of the Europa League. They know they have the capacity to travel to Ibrox and win. Walter Smith has seen it all before. Last 3 minutes of normal time now. Lens. Didn't have much of an angle. Whittaker was remaining with him.
I think you can see why they have done particularly well away in Europe this season, is when home teams will inevitably just open up a little bit, there will be space for them, and they have got some good players who will operate obviously a lot better in not such confined areas. Rangers have made that very difficult for them tonight.
Jujak. There's Bakal. A bit of space to his left. It was hit with too much ferocity by Balázs Jujak. Well, this is what PSV expected. Heard it from many of their players yesterday and from Fred Rutten. Rangers will be very hard to break down. Rangers have come here to Eindhoven with a plan, and they have executed that plan. Just a few minutes away now from what would be a most agreeable result from the Rangers and Scottish point of view. Eric Peters for PSV. Jujak. Foster. But once he's lost Balázs Jujak. It's a goal kick.
Just intent having a little scrap with Jujak there. He did have the taste of him in that occasion, and dying swan act. Never a penalty again. Not that I think he even claimed for one. A little half-hearted look at Martin Hansen. He's not had a lot to do tonight, is he, in terms of any of the decisions he's had to make?
3 minutes to be added on to the 90. Manolev. David Weir's header. There's Hutton. Quite locate the ball. Awkward spin. The Rangers have made PSV look predictable. Sure, we'll hear talk in the Dutch press about anti-football and negative tactics. The object of the exercise is to make it through. Use your personnel most effective way possible. Manolev. Costa, who's proving that he's very much the player for these European nights.
Well, there was once upon a time Rangers would have come to a place like this and played an open, attractive game of football with some of the great players that they had in recent years, but they're not at that juncture at the moment, and it's horses for courses, isn't it? They're not coming here with Laudrup and Gascoigne and Alberts and McCoist and all these guys. And they've got a job to do. It might not be pretty, it certainly isn't pretty. But as long as it's effective, they can take it back to Ibrox, maybe get one or two more players fit and available, some more options for Walter. Let's see where they go.
Not to have Sasha Papac, Jamie Ness and maybe Stephen Naismith back for the return leg. Hutchinson. Here's Manolev. Bounces off Vigueira. Big shout for handball. It's more of a token appeal than anything else. Wild. Once again, Martin Hansen got it spot on. Last opportunity, surely, for PSV to get forward. Jeremaine Lens. Bartley shepherding the ball back to Alexander. Fred Ruten's PSV are going to have to do it the difficult way. Favourites to make it through. The start. A dogged, disciplined performance by Rangers here in Eindhoven tonight. They will do it again at Ibrox 7 nights from now, and the door remains very much ajar for the defending Scottish champions. Marcelo missing the chance of the game, the Brazilian putting his header wide, but Rangers will certainly think they have an excellent opportunity of going through from this position. It is finished in this first leg. PSV Eindhoven 0, Rangers 0.
Well, thanks to Derek Ray and Craig Burley. Here in the ESPN studio, Richard Gough and Colin Hendry are applauding Rangers' performance.
Yeah, job well done. Job well done, Ray. I thought young Bartley was outstanding tonight. He took on a lot of responsibility. Foster and Whittaker played well as well. The problem now for Rangers is when they go home, they've got to come out, like Craig Burley said, and open up a little bit to get the goals.
Could be dangerous though, Richard, you know that. I mean, it's a great result tonight. They've taken that before the game. Disciplined. Another successful evening in Europe for Rangers, although it's only half-time, really.
What stuck out for you from Rangers' performance this evening, the way they executed their game plan?
Well, it's just the system they played. I mean, it's tried, trusted, and it works for them. And every player knows his job, that's important.
Yeah, like I said, they're suffocating teams very well, Rangers. They've suffocated PSV tonight. But the problem is the PSV score first at Ibrox. Rangers need 2. Rangers have lost Miller. I hope Naismith's back. So now the problem is for Rangers to come out and get a goal.
Well played, Walter Smith. Well played, all the Rangers players. The supporters delighted, whether they be in Eindhoven this evening or watching on TV. Reaction from the Rangers dressing room is on the way, and the Ajax-Spartak Moscow match is on the way too. Kick-off in Amsterdam is just after 8 o'clock. Well, as for Rangers, they've done a great job in Eindhoven tonight, holding a team that went into the match on 99 goals so far this season. Yes, a few chances went PSV's way, but you know what? Rangers nearly nicked an away goal too. Great result for Rangers in Holland.
Have you ever had a dream come true?
A Hail Mary for St. Mary's! They're in the Sweet 16.
Was there a moment where everything came together?
Duke is back on top.
For 68 teams, there are no second chances. The moment is now. The NCAA tournament on ESPN and ESPN2.
More choice.
This one's got a chance, and it's gone! Cristiano Ronaldo!
More live.
Superstars!
More of the best of international sport.
Has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in!
ESPN2.
Playback ESPN, the NBA, Bulls versus Magic.
Rose over Howard. Oh, that is tough and that is sweet. Reedus, nice drop there for Bass, who continues his good night. Not happy with that shot, and Rose makes them pay. See this 11-0 run by the Bulls bench, and Watson extends it to 14-0. Howard was trapped, turned it over. Rose on the bounce today. 3 possessions away from getting back in the game.
Mike, can they get a good look at the three? Spread them out. That's it. Beautiful. Spread out.
Korver. Check, please.
Korver said, we'll spread it out until I make a catch.
That's right. And Chicago knocks off the Magic for the 2nd time this year.
Messi
Protection, shoots and scores with 2.2 to go. 109.
Brace yourself. ESPN2 has arrived.
Winter X Games Europe. For the 2nd straight year, the biggest action sports stars bring their best tricks to Team France for 3 jam-packed days. As the world's elite snowboarders and skiers push the limits in superpipe and shred up the course in slopestyle. Who will take home the gold? Winter X Games Europe starts Tuesday, live only on ESPN2.
ESPN, your NBA destination. MVP candidate Derrick Rose leads the high-flying Bulls to take on the playoff-bound Atlanta Hawks. It's all about desire. Hawks, Bulls, live Saturday on ESPN.
RBS Six Nations Rugby continues live this week. Late night Saturday, Italy look to notch their first win against holders France. Then later, Wales battle Ireland.
Jamie Heaslip gets Ireland's first try.
Then on Sunday night, undefeated England take on Scotland. Six Nations, one crown. RBS Six Nations, exclusively live on ESPN.
Welcome back to Europa League Live, where Rangers supporters are cheering their team 0-0 away against PSV Eindhoven tonight. 2nd leg at Ibrox next Thursday. 2,000 Rangers fans delighted with the result. Richard Goff and Colin Hendry watched the match. You're delighted too, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, great result. Sets it up nicely for the 2nd leg. Clean sheet away from home. Very disciplined. Obviously, didn't have many chances tonight, but and I'm sure they'll play the same way at home. You know, that's where they've had the success in Europe, Rangers.
Chance in the quarter-finals, really on the cards now. It's still going to be very difficult. What jumped off the screen for you from Rangers' performance?
Just their defensive performance was very good. You know, 2 banks like they played. They've done it before. They've suffocated teams before. They did it again tonight. I thought young Bartley was outstanding. The last 3 games he's played, he's been a real find for me.
It was a team as well, though, Richard, wasn't it? You know, it was like defended from the front, worked ever so hard. The 2 wide men, Whittaker and Foster. Great discipline, great jobs.
Guys, thanks. Sorry to interrupt. Let's get some reaction from the Rangers dressing room. There's David Weir and Neil Alexander with Daryl Curry.
Well, it really was a happy birthday for this man over here. 33 today, Neil, starting
place out here, and a 0-0 draw must have been a perfect day for you.
Yeah, it was a great clean sheet. I thought the boys in front of me were absolutely magnificent. As you say, it was a nice birthday present to get a start, so really happy.
When did you find out you were playing?
Just about a couple of hours before the game. So it was, I say, a fantastic present for me, and a clean sheet's even better, so really delighted.
You had to be sharp early on, didn't you?
Yeah, as I say, coming in, it's my first game for about 6 weeks, so I was a wee bit rusty, but that save settled me down a wee bit, so I was quite glad to make it.
David, what did you make of the performance? You limited them to only a few chances.
Yeah, we were. I mean, obviously we set up that way to make it difficult for them and try and hit them on the counter-attack and, you know, try and take advantage of set pieces. But they're a good side with a lot of good players, so they're always going there. But, you know, it's discipline and hard work. You know, I don't think there's any secret. I don't think it's, you know, particularly brilliant. It's just hard work and being in the right place at the right time. And, you know, and everybody's got to work hard. Everybody's got to do their jobs, and we did that tonight. And, you know, hopefully we can do the same next week.
And did you feel there was a wee chance you might just have sneaked a goal on the break?
I thought Kel's goal was in. I thought his header was in. You know, when I think the keeper's just got a great touch to it. But, you know, when you get the pace of Wilde and Vlad coming on as well, you know, you've always got a chance. And, you know, a wee bit of luck if we got them one-on-one, and I think, you know, we might nick the goal as well.
Well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
We spoke before the game about Davy Weir's leadership and just the way to execute that game plan. He takes a lot of responsibility and he directs operations.
He was terrific. I read his article in the paper this morning, and he said some of the situation to myself. When you get to 38, 39 and you have a bad game, it's because you're old. It's not because meantime you had more bad games when you were 23 years old. And I'm so pleased for him because he's been there and played at that level, at that age.
It's an incredible example, really, to any young footballer, any old footballer, to be fair. I mean, it's a great example. Chuffed for him tonight.
Terrific. PSV Eindhoven had chances, but this is a team, as we were saying before, on 99 goals in all competitions so far this season. A team that are leading the Dutch league. So they've got good players. They will point to the fact they missed chances. But Rangers defensively did restrict them.
And yet, I think they're behind Barcelona, Real Madrid and Arsenal. Across the board. It's goals scored, which is incredible tonight. They didn't have many chances either, but
you need some luck, don't you? And the fact that these chances were missed has gone Rangers' way.
You do need a wee bit of luck as well. And if you look at this one especially, I mean, if you're a Rangers defender, you're thinking the lads just knocks it back the way it comes across Alexander.
It's harder to miss, isn't it, than score there. Well, he needs to hit the target. And the one thing about Marcello's 2 headers doesn't hit the target either time.
That's a harder chance.
Well, he's blocked off by his partner in crime there, but two easy headers that he doesn't hit the target with.
I think Rangers deserved a wee bit of luck tonight. Like Davy Weir says, you defend like tigers the whole game, and sometimes you get that wee bit of luck. And you know that a couple of chances.
Berg, I think it was.